Hello, everyone, and welcome to Books That Go Bump in the Night, Part 2. Today we are talking about more traditionally scary books, but how are we defining traditional scares? Well, I'm defining them by calling them fast-paced, action-packed, more gory and violent and gruesome versus psychological. But again, remember, horror is subjective. What might be really scary to you might not be scary to somebody else. So, with that in mind, let's see what the books I've selected are. My first recommendation is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. And I will note right at the top here that really anything by Grady Hendrix would fit great on this list, including Horror Store and the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. Excellent books. Grady Hendrix is a great horror author. This book in particular is a great homage to 1980s horror films, and it's about two best friends. One of them becomes possessed by a demon, and the other has to save her. It's up to her to save her best friend. The female characters are strong and complex. There's some dark, dark humor. And just as a warning to you, Hendrix loves gory detail. There's at least one scene per book of his that is just super, I will just say super gross. But he does such a great job with it. So highly recommend My Best Friend's Exorcism and anything by Grady Hendrix. My next recommendation is Devolution, a first-hand account of the Rainier Sasquatch Massacre by Max Brooks, and you might recognize Max Brooks as the author of World War Z, another excellent horror book. But Devolution is a modern retelling of the Bigfoot legend, and it's told as a first-person narrative through a journal, a woman living in a high-tech Pacific Northwest community. The community becomes cut off from civilization by a volcanic eruption, and creatures being displaced from their forest homes creep out into the night. I would say it's great for fans of found footage type movies and books. It's harrowing and realistic, and it makes you wonder what would you do in the situation, which is a fun way to read horror. I will say pretty graphic as well, so get ready for some interesting encounters with some Bigfoot, big feet, I guess, Sasquatches. My next recommendation is the book When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. And Alyssa Cole is a female woman of color, and this is her first thriller horror book. She's better known for her romance books. But this book is really great. When collecting stories from her rapidly vanishing Brooklyn community, Sydney uncovers sinister truths about a regional gentrification project and why her neighbors are moving away. This book is great for Get Out and Jordan Peele fans. It's intense and topical, and again, you're supporting a female woman of color by buying or checking out this book. Win-win. Excellent book. The next recommendation on my list, The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. This book is intense and uncomfortable and really emotional and beautiful at the same time. It's about four American Indian men that are tracked by an entity who's bent on revenge after a disturbing event from their youth, putting them in a desperate struggle for their lives. Again, it's intense and unflinching. The point of view in the book does not look away from any of the terrible things that are happening. It's emotional, and our author, Stephen Graham Jones, is a Blackfeet Native American. So he has a really distinct and wonderful voice. He has written a lot of horror books, and I would recommend all of them. But this one is definitely a great read if you like intense and unflinching narratives. My next recommendation is The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. In this one, a young woman takes a night clerk job at the same roadside motel from where her aunt went missing decades earlier before uncovering the work of a serial killer. Simone St. James is also the author of The Broken Girls, another great read. that mixes elements of paranormal and true crime for really cool results. She writes great female characters. There's ghostly elements, like I said. Her books are great for true crime fans. And this is the kind of book that you don't want to start if you can't, if you need to get up early the next day, because you'll just want to keep reading until you're done. So be aware, if you do start this book, you need to make sure you have a full afternoon and evening to zip right through it. And our other recommendations here, we have Cold Storage by David Kopp. David Kopp is a well-known screenplay author, and Cold Storage reads like a movie, so it's almost like you're in a horror thriller as you're reading the book. Takes place in a desolate storage facility, and something is there that shouldn't be there. You know how it goes. The Anomaly by Michael Rutger, and actually it's part of a series, a team that I believe has their own YouTube online show exploring paranormal and strange phenomena, encounter a cave and things within the cave that shouldn't be there, and suddenly they can't get out. It's a fun, fast read. Again, reads like a movie. You know, all sorts of crazy things happen to the protagonists within. The Diviners by Libba Bray. If you're looking for more paranormal, if you like historical fiction, then the Diviners series might be right for you. It takes place in the 1920s, and a group of very interesting individuals come together because they have different powers, different things that make them aware of other things going on in New York City, where the story takes place. Very creepy, very good. Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. This one is great for fans of sci-fi. Talk about a strange mix. I have never read a book quite like this. It's sci-fi. It takes place interstellar between planets, but it's also very grounded in necromancy and the magic of the dead, and solving a mystery about solving a murder mystery, basically, within this contest that all the characters are part of. It's hard to explain, and it's part of the series as well. If that sounds intriguing to you, I say just give it a shot, because I don't know if I can explain it any better than that. Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. You'll probably recognize Leigh Bardugo from her young adult series that are really popular. Ninth House is definitely an adult book. Darker and more violent than most of Leigh Bardugo's other books, and really good. Again, if you are kind of like dark magic, you like that paranormal side of things, definitely a great read. And the other recommendations here, Lovecraft Country by Matt Ruff. You may have watched or heard about the HBO series. It's a little bit different, but really, really good, and a great way to also look into the topic of the Green Book and how that was developed with all, you know, a paranormal slash horror themes wrapped over it. So really fun, different book. Again, we have Paul Tremblay on the list with Survivor Song, and we also have The Passage by Justin Cronin. Two fast-paced, really exciting and scary books. So those are my recommendations for traditional quote-unquote horror for this month. But if you're looking for read-alikes, again, head to our website at clpl.org, hover over the Research tab with your mouse, click on Books and Reading, scroll down to Reading Suggestions, and take a visit to Novelist Plus, one of the best resources on our website for finding read-alikes, which are books or authors that are similar to things you already like. So if something on this list sounded like something you might like, get on our library website, put a hold on it, or find a way to get one of these books, and we'd love to hear your suggestions as well. So if you have any horror suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this today. I love sharing the books that I love, and we will see you again soon. Happy Halloween and happy spooky season. Bye, everyone.